Hey guys, V here, and welcome to the Ultimate MCU Recap. This will be everything in Phase 2 that you'll need to know before watching Avengers Endgame. Let me do this in a fast and straight to the point way, so don't forget to subscribe and tick that notification bell to catch all of my awesome videos. Okay, let's start with Iron Man 3. Okay, so the movie starts with Tony still dealing with his panic attack and soon had to deal with a new terrorist named Mandarin, who later turns out to be fake and was being controlled by his old friend named Killian and a hot scientist. They made a serum called Extremis that despite giving you strength and regeneration, it makes you go boom. We see Happy Hogan injured from it, we see Pepper abducted and injected with it, the War Machine is converted into the Iron Patriot, a nice comic book reference, just a few side story. But the main core story of the movie is Iron Man's redemption, or getting his head together after the out-of-this-world experience 6 years ago from the alien attack in New York. And of course, at the end of the day, Iron Man saves everyone. Here are my top moments. Stan Lee as a judge for a pageant, you sly little dog. The concept of Extremis is cool, although the comic version is really better, try reading it. Iron Man's suit, we see all the different suits he made because of his anxiety and panic attack, but too bad, Tony had to blow them up at the end. And lastly, Tony just telling the whole movie/story to a sleeping Bruce Banner. Okay, so for the next one, let's talk about Thor: The Dark Tower. Sadly, a lot of people hates this movie, but for me, it was fine. Basically, this movie is just about an old elf who wants to rule the Nine Realm once again, using the power of the ether. It was once sealed by Bor, the father of Odin, but silly Jane reactivates it and absorbs it in the process, so Thor tries to help. But Mama Thor got killed in the process. So Thor and Loki teams up, fought back in a different planet, but Loki dies too. Then Thor goes back to Earth, tried to defend it, and fought the elves, and since Thor is another hero, of course he won. So here are my top moments. Stan Lee in a mental ward where he asked for his shoe back from Dr. Eric, Loki faking his death once again, but now taking over Asgard as he pretends to be Odin, while Thor plays hide the zucchini with Jane. So the most important thing in this movie is that they mention the Infinity Stones once again, wherein the ether turns out to be the second stone, the Reality Stone. So in the after credits, we see Thor friends giving the stone to the collector since they believe that having two Infinity Stone in one place is a bad thing. Okay, so for the next one, let's talk about Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So it's a follow-up story for Steve adjusting to the modern life, where he meets Sam and hangs out with Black Widow for some random mission. But soon he finds out that S.H.I.E.L.D., the good guys, is filled up with double agents Hydra, the bad guys, where they plan to control the world with Project Insight. Basically, it's 3 UJAS canon in space. In the movie, we see Fury get killed by the Winter Soldier, only to be revealed that it was Bucky all along, but he was mind controlled by Hydra. And later in the movie, Fury returns cause why not? He's like, I'm back, mother. In the end, Captain America successfully stops Hydra's plan, but at the same time ruining the name of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the process. So here are my top moments. Stan Lee as the guard in the museum, Bucky is live and was snapped back to reality, a new sidekick, the Falcon, and the mention of Bruce Banner in Stephen Strange is a nice touch. Okay, so for the next one, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. This is one of the gamble movies of Marvel, but thanks to the awesome brain of James Gunn, it was a major success. In this movie, we see an odd group of heroes. An abducted human turns into a space pirate named Star-Lord, 2 bounty hunters, Rocket Raccoon and Groot, Gamora, a daughter of Thanos who dislikes his father, and Drax. Initially, they worked together, even busting their way out of prison to get a huge reward in exchange of this orb thing. But once they found out that inside of this orb thing was an Infinity Stone, they had to give it to the good guys or the Space Police or the Nova Corps. While Thanos ordered Ronan to get the stone, Ronan was like, nah bish, I'm using it. So he tries to use it in Sandar, kill everyone. But of course, the Guardians stood up together with the Avenger and the Nova Corps. They defended Sandar and defeated Ronan with a dance-off. Okay, so here are my top moments. The odd group's chemistry. James Gunn, you really did a good job in this movie. Stan Lee as an old man hitting on a girl. More of Thanos, where we see him interacting with Ronan the Accuser and his 2 daughters, Nebula and Gamora. The Nova Corps, the Ravengers, and anything in space in general. Quite excited to see what will MCU do about this. The mention of Star-Lord being a half-celestial, which is a direct link to the sequel. And lastly, the mention of the 3rd Infinity Stone, the Power Stone. Okay, so for the next one, let's talk about Avengers Age of Ultron. So this is another team-up movie where it is revealed that inside Loki's scepter is the fourth Infinity Stone, the Mind Stone. So the movie starts with Avengers getting back the scepter from Hydra while meeting two enhanced individuals, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. This made me think though, if the twins are here and the twins are the offspring of Magneto, does this mean that X-Men is somewhere in the MCU? Anyway, Tony creates Ultron with the intention of it being good, while subbing for them just in case there's another alien attack. But Ultron was like, nah, human sucks, time to restart the world. So Ultron planned to drop a city to the planet to recreate a meteor strike. We see and hear an Easter egg mention of Wakanda, where Ultron got a lot of vibranium from a thief and plans to create a better body. But the Avengers came and fought them, and just when they thought they were winning, Scarlet releases the Hulk. So Tony was forced to use the Hulk Buster. Basically, it's just a bigger version of his suit, more hulky. Anyway, because of all this mess, they were forced to hide. While the Avengers were hiding, Ultron finally creates his new body while uploading his mind. But eventually, Scarlet Witch found out his true intention. So Scarlet was like, you're crazy, we're out of here. At this moment, the Avengers came and took also the body. So Ultron was like, what the frick? So Tony uploads Jarvis AI instead. Thor jump starts it with his thunder, and with the mix of the Mind Stone, Vision was born. Everyone was like, yo, how could we trust this tin can? So with a dead face, Vision picks up the hammer and said, then don't, but let's go save the world. In Sokovia, the Enhanced Twins teams up with Avengers to fight Ultron. Cue the hero pose! So sadly, they had to destroy the city to save the people and save the world. The movie ended with half of the original team leaving. Hulk went outer space, while Thor went back home to look for more information about the stones. Tony went, clubbing, while Captain America forms a new team with Falcon, War Machine, Scarlet Witch, and the Vision. Avengers roll out. Okay, so here are my top moments. Stan Lee as an old veteran who tries Asgardian liquor. Excelsior! The two enhanced kids that might be the offspring of Magneto, but let's see. The mention of the fourth stone, the Mind Stone, and the revelation of the rest of the stones to the whole team. Okay, so for the last movie of Phase 2, let's talk about Ant-Man. So this movie is just a simple origin story for the next generation of Ant-Man. The movie starts with Hank Pym, who takes his work and leaves S.H.I.E.L.D. because of them trying to replicate his creation without his permission, the Pym particle. But years later, his ex-apprentice Darren Cross made a similar one, but because of his unstable mind, Hank decided to stop him with the help of Scott Lang, a cat burglar. The story revolves with Scott trying to leave his bad days, his cat burglar days, only to work with Hank where he was asked to steal something. Talk about full circle. Hank, together with his daughter Hope, trains Scott to be a good fighter, to be a good Ant-Man, where he was also asked to retrieve something at an old factory, but it turns out it was the new Avengers headquarters. Upon reaching there, he met Falcon. Don't tell Captain America. During the training, Scott was told by Hank that he shouldn't mess with the regulator since going subatomic is just bad news. Also, this was the part where Hank told Hope that her mother went subatomic just to save the world. So as soon as they heard that Darren Cross made his own suit called the Yellow Jack, they had to move. Team Ant-Man, together with Lewis and the gang, tries to steal the suit but was caught eventually. So Ant-Man and the Yellow Jacket had to fight in the smallest battle ever. That's a good pun, thanks. And just when Darren was about to kill Scott's family, Ant-Man decided to go subatomic and destroy from within. And of course, he still returned to a full-size human because Ant-Man is a hero. At the end of the movie, we see Falcon trying to look for Ant-Man for a special mission. And that's the end of the movie. So here are my top moments. Stan Lee as a bartender. Any movie of Paul Rudd, now together with Michael Pena, is always a good time. And this movie had a lot of laughs, plus the riot on cue jokes. The image during the subatomic scene where I kinda see a human figure is a direct link to the sequel. In the ending, we see Hank giving Hope the Wasp suit. And the mention of someone who crawls and swings is a nice Easter egg for Spider-Man, since this was the time when Sony and Marvel were talking about sharing Spider-Man for the MCU. Okay, and we're done with Phase 2. Now you're almost ready to watch Endgame. Oh, by the way, I'll be watching Avengers Endgame on the 25th, a day before the regular showing. So I'll be giving my reaction, my recap, spoiler-free, maybe a day or two after. While the full spoiler, full reaction, and full recap a week later, since Thanos and the Avengers still ask for our silence. Anyway, that's it for the recap. Comment down below what is your favorite movie in phase 2. Don't forget to subscribe and tick the notification bell to catch the last recap for phase 3. Okay? And cut.